as an oppressed group. And it goes like this. Overnight, very whitely, gritly, very quietly, our toes, our noses take hold on the loam, acquire the air. Nobody sees us, stops us, betrays us. The small grains make room. Soft fists insist on heaving the needles, the leafy bedding. Even the paving, our hammers, our rams, earless and eyeless, perfectly voiceless, widen the crannies, shoulder through holes. We, diet on water, on crumbs of shadow, bland-mannered, asking, little or nothing. So many of us, so many of us. We are shelves, we are tables, we are meek, we are edible, nudgers and shovers. In spite of ourselves, our kind multiplies. We shall by morning inherit the earth, our foots in the door. Hope you liked it. Then we have another one.
This is going to be my turn of reading. This poem was written by Farida D. She's an Arab gender researcher and poet, and her poems are strolling all over this internet, on social media. You can find her on Instagram as at farida.d.author, and she has written many books called The List of Things That Made Me a Feminist. So this one goes like this. If I can enter Eugenia first, and then I'm going to read. Okay. I was taught that to be accepted, I must take less space. That in this world, women must shrink to fit into place. So I began to suck my belly in, shave the hairs poking out of my skin, constantly creating a smaller version of me, until she became my reality. I swallowed my voice. I stripped of my choice. That was my invoice. I was a girl with the accountability of a woman, and a woman who must look like a girl, hiding in my shell like a precious pearl. Each time I dared to stand taller, they pushed me to stay smaller. And that's when I began to truly understand what Alice had to give up to be in Wonderland. We really hope to have liked it.
Yeah. Our next poem is by Maya Angelou. She was born in 1928. She was an American poet, a singer, a memoirist, and a civil rights activist. And in this famous poem that we picked, Still I Rise, which was published in 1978, brings us a message of survival and hope. And again, many of us can relate to it. And before, we have also picked a quote by her that says, each time a woman stands up for herself without knowing it, possibly without claiming it, she stands up for all women. Still I rise. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides. Just like hope springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head, lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it off hard? 'Cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with words, You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind night, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing, sorry, I cannot
Bringing the gifts that my
sorry, yes.
ancestor gave.
Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I'm the dream and the hope of the slaves. I rise, I rise, I rise. Sorry about that.
And I'm going to continue with Worcestershire. She is a British Somali writer, a poet, an editor, and a teacher. She's a migrant. She has a Bachelor of Arts degree in creative writing, and her poetry featured prominently in Beyonce's 2016 feature-length film Lemonade. Beyonce included not only Chimamanda Adichie, she also included Worcestershire. And this is a powerful piece of one of her poems, Home, that says, "No one leaves home unless home is the mouth of a shark." We really, really recommend you to watch these two videos that are on YouTube. One is called For Women Who Are Difficult to Love, and the other one is The Ugly Daughter. And these are two extracts from two poems. It's not my responsibility to be beautiful. I'm not alive for that purpose. My existence is not about how desirable you find me. Give your daughters difficult names. Give your daughters names that command the full use of the tongue. My name makes you want to tell me the truth. My name doesn't allow me to trust anyone that cannot pronounce it right.
Next, we have another young American poet who published a series of books of poems called The Princess Saves Herself in this one, The Witch Doesn't Burn in this one, and The Mermaid's Voice Returns in this one. We recommend the three books by her. And this one goes like this. It says, if you ever look at your reflection and feel the desire to tell yourself you are not good enough, beautiful enough, skinny enough, curvy enough, then I think it's about time you smashed that mirror to bits, don't you? Use those fragments to make stepping stones to your own self-love.
And this one, it's also by Amanda, and it goes like this. Make no mistakes, there will be dragons. What they don't know is that you will always be ready with coal wedged between your fingers and a match poised between your fingers. Here is a vital difference between you. They burn to kill, but you burn to survive. And this one is called Maybe They Never Underestimate You Again by Amanda Lovelace.
Now we have Rupi Kaur. She was born in 1992. She is an Indian-born Canadian poet, and she's also an illustrator. She became popular when she started sharing her visual poetry on Instagram, and she has published so far two collections poems, one called Milk and Honey, and the other The Sun and Her Flowers. And to introduce her, we have a quote which goes like this: "We all move forward when we recognize how resilient and striking the women around us are." And we have several poems by her to share. This one says, "This is the recipe of life," said my mother, as she held me in her arms as I wept. "Think of those flowers you plant in the garden each year. They will teach you that people too must wilt, fall, root, rise in order to bloom."
This one, we have also her drawing next to this poem, and I really love this one. "I'm the first woman in my lineage with freedom of choice to craft her future whichever way I choose. Say what is on my mind when I want to. Without the whip of the lash, there are hundreds of firsts I am thankful for. That my mother and her mother and her mother did not have the privilege of feeling. What an honor to be the first woman in the family who gets to taste her desires. No wonder I am starving to fill up on this life. I have generations of bellies to eat for. The grandmothers must be howling with laughter, huddled around a mud stove in the afterlife, sipping on steaming glasses of milky masala chai. How wild it must be for them to see one of their own living so boldly." I truly like this. May I tell you, because I'm the first generation of immigrants that has finished high school and attended university. So for me, this is a very powerful message, even though I'm a white lady from a middle class in Buenos Aires city. So I know I have my privileges also.
And we have two more. I'm going to read one and Silvana the other. "What is the greatest lesson a woman should learn? That since day one, she's already had everything she needs within herself. It's the world that convinced her she did not."
There are mountains growing beneath our feet that cannot be contained. All we've endured has prepared us for this. Bring your hammers and fists. We have a glass ceiling to shatter. Let's leave this place roofless.
Then we have Audre Lorde. Audre Lorde was born in 1934. She was an American writer, a feminist, a womanist, and a civil rights movement. And she said things like this: "I'm not free while any woman is unfree, even when her shackles are very different from my own." And we picked also a famous poem by her, which is "A Woman Speaks." So she's speaking for herself, but also for other women. And again, I think it's
Yes, it's my turn.
very powerful because so many people, many groups of people can. Okay, it goes like this: "Moon marked and touched by sun, my magic is unwritten. When the sea turns back, it will leave my shape behind. I seek no favor, untouched by blood, unrelenting as the curse of love, permanent as my errors or my pride. I do not mix love with pity, nor hate with scorn. And if you would know me, look into the entrails of Uranus, where the restless oceans pound. I do not dwell within my birth nor my divinity, who am ageless and half grown, and still seeking my sisters. witches in Dahomey wear me inside their coiled cloths. My mother did mourning. I have been a woman for a long time. Beware my smile. I am treacherous with old magic and the noon's new fury. With all your wide futures promised, I am woman and not wit.
Well, and the first poem by Farida said something about that we have to um, be smaller to fit. And Vanessa Kisule says the opposite thing, that we have to take up space. There's a very powerful video while in the one she is reading and performing this poem. So we really truly recommend you to look for it in YouTube. Vanessa is a writer and a performer, and she's based in Bristol. Bristol, we seen what happened in the last week with a coldstone statue thrown to the river, and she made a very powerful poem called Hollow, related to this slavery merchant that was thrown to the river at last. And she has won over 10 slam poetry titles, 2 poetry collections. She's written Joyriding the Storm and Recipe for Sorcery, which we truly recommend to read. And last but not least, we are honored with the presence of Ashley. She's a Tribagonian-born writer and arts educator, assistant slam coordinator of the Youth Speaks International Poetry Slam Festival at Brave New Voices, a dynamic buzz youth art and advocacy in the United States. She is an English language and literature student at the University of the Southern Caribbean, an activist. She's part of the 2 Cents movement. You can follow in Instagram Feminite. She's the founder and she leads the project. She's also a Commonwealth correspondent from Trinidad and Tobago. She has been elected last month Correspondent of the Month. She's also delegate to the Caribbean Regional Youth Council Policy and Advocacy Conference, and she produces commentary on topics like global feminism, sexual and queer politics, and you can read her work, which is amazing. Thank you, Ashley, for being here and sharing with us. And she's going, well, I have a quote by her. To stand up against oppression means to be impartial in every way that oppression exists. No life is worth more than the other, and human rights are for all. And she's going to read for us Life in Leggings. The floor is yours, Ashley.
I was muted, sorry. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Introduction. Okay, here we go. Ladies, women, girls, daughters of the universe, are pictures on a wall. They are meant to be seen and never heard, to crouch themselves, only to be crumpled like paper and tossed in a trash can, taught to tuck away traces of the blotted blue ink of abuse. Because who wants to read their stories anyway? They lock themselves up in cages, closely under a man's left rib, because she is never supposed to stand on her own. She is to respect that she was made of rib, but ribs are bones and they can break. Women are always to be clothed, never to be nude, never showing too much skin, nothing too tight, because of men that are insecure about themselves, because of men that compare the fit of her clothes to the fit of his dick. It's funny that men forget that a penis has a head but no brain. But do you know what it is like to have your clothes personified? Putting inanimate objects as first priority, comfort second, to smile at catcalls but never too inviting, to ignore but not too much, just enough to have to avoid your dignity from being dragged through hell and back. This is not a war on men. This is not team feminism, but men see us as objects, then have us personified. This is a fight for men to be taught that clothing is not an open invitation, that respect is alive. It is a reminder that biology should not make women victims. This is more than just a trending hashtag to raise awareness. It is a peek into a day in a woman's life through 140 characters. You cannot join in on catcalls, then retweet our hashtag. Woman, when a cat calls, bark. How else to hope to see another sunrise? This is not life in skirts and crop tops. This is not life in shorts, not just life in leggings. This is life as a woman, daily. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Of course.
And we would like to finish by saying that through these moments in lockdown and quarantine, the cases of gender violence and domestic violence has been on a rise. So if you know of someone that is seeking help, if you need help, please remember that we have the line 144, and there's also a mobile phone number. You can write it in your cell phone by another name, maybe from a relative or a friend. And well, these telephone lines offer information, orientation, help for women at all year through, at all times. So we want to thank you, Ashley. You can find her in Instagram. You can follow her work, which is amazing. And thank you also, FAAPI, for this session.
Thank you.
Thank you. I cannot hear. Gisela. There.
Gisela.
I'm really, I was speechless. Not open the microphone, but I am speechless. It has been so moving, girls, but moving and empowering, right? We are like shocked, but we feel stronger right now. So thank you so much. It was an amazing selection of poems. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ashley, and thank you everybody for being present and joining us every Friday. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ashley, so much. Bye. Bye, everyone.